Welcome back to the Lakeside Productions YouTube channel. In this series I'm repairing a 1940 seaplane tender and repairing it back into a liveaboard which it was converted to after World War II. The boat is 40 foot long, constructed of double diagonal mahogany hull planking and oak ribs. Starting back at the bow, I needed to replace the port side mahogany forecabin trim, as I'd used what I thought were brass pins to secure this in place. Turns out false advertising, and you can see the iron thickness here leaching through on the actual mahogany trim. So I tried to remove this as one piece, which I did on the starboard side, and that worked fine, but it just cracked, and I just had to make up a new one, which wasn't too troublesome. So this mahogany wood is actually recycled from old furniture that was going to be disposed of, so it was great to actually see it get a second life. So to secure it in place, I used epoxy and brass screws, but first I used neat epoxy on the ends of the plywood just to make sure that they would be weather sealed as well. Of course, it's going to get a primer, it's going to get an outer coat or a top coat of paint just to make sure it's definitely sealed from the elements. I used neat epoxy just to soak into the end grain, because that is so important to make sure your end grain is coated in epoxy. Then I just used thickened epoxy to really make sure that it had good adhesion, good bond, and of course then using brass screws to finish.